Hi everyone. So I made a video about 5 months ago about my mental health and kind of my story that led to all of those issues I had had. I don't know if you've seen it. It's very long. It's like an hour long. And then I made a follow-up video after I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder. And so I just kind of I was recently inspired to make another video, and I'll go into that later. But so much has happened in my life in the past 5 months, and as you can see behind me, I'm going to talk about that a lot. So this summer, I ran across the country. Yeah, I ran across the country from San Francisco to New York City for young adults with cancer. And it was a relay race, and I was on a team with 20 other beautiful, amazing people, and the experience I had was incredible. I decided to kind of talk about it here, but it's really hard for me to try and explain to people because they weren't there and they don't understand how I felt and how my team felt, and no, unless you do it, you won't understand. So we left on June 17th from San Francisco, and it was a relay race. It wasn't a race, it was a relay run, and so 2 people would run, and we had a van. We literally lived in these vans for 49 days. We smelled horrible. We lived off of peanut butter and jellies. I'm vegan. Me and the 2 other vegans ate like 5 gallons of hummus a day. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but we ate so much hummus, and we would stop. We stopped at a hospital in Boise, Idaho, Salt Lake City, Utah, Omaha, Nebraska. We gave out, I believe, 2 scholarships in Salt Lake. I know we gave out 1 in Salt Lake City. And then we gave out another one in Minneapolis, close to Minneapolis. We gave out another scholarship. So I forget what the town was called, but it was just south of Minneapolis in Minnesota. And then we also we went to like a cancer care center where they kind of interacted with patients, and we got to paint these pictures with some of the patients. That was in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. So I got to run all over the United States with 20 people that I'm just absolutely in love with and I adore. And what was so incredible about this experience, I am very empathetic and loving and caring, and I'm gonna like cry talking about them. Everybody on my team was the exact same way, and we all just loved each other, and we were doing this for the same cause, and a lot of us had very, very personal connections to cancer, and along the way we got to interact with patients, take them chemo care bags through the foundation, or that the foundation provided, that we ran for. And the best day of my life happened on this trip. It was in Omaha, Nebraska, and we went to the Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center, and I can't even explain all of the emotion I felt. I just don't know how to describe it. I was with my team, and we got to go visit these patients, and they were just the strongest people I had ever met in my life. And they have cancer, and they're in a hospital bed, and it was just so inspiring and powerful. And I knew I like called my mom that night. I was so happy. I cried, and I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, this was the best day of my life, and I'm just so genuinely happy to be here with all these people I love, running for cancer, raising money. Like, we each had to raise like $4,500, and I think I ended up raising a little over $6,000 for young adults with cancer. It was just such an amazing experience, and it was very humbling as well. I think on that trip, I slept on the floor every night on a little sleeping pad that was maybe like this thick, and in the sleeping bag. We would get up at like 4:35 every morning, finish running around like 12 to like 3 in the afternoon. It varied, and then we would just sleep, hang out, eat. Everything was donation based. We would go to grocery stores and ask for donations, local restaurants, and it made me realize there are still good people in this world, even though it doesn't seem like it. And I know with everything that's been going on, and the world has just been kind of chaotic lately, and this trip really made me realize, and like, wow, there's still good people out there. There's still people that care and just opened up their hearts and let us in, and it was so incredible. And it also, I know, especially these days with all of the technology and new inventions and everything coming up, everyone's always glued to their phone, their computer. They need the next new thing. They need this and that. And there was one day that we didn't have reception. We were in Corning, New York. It was a little small town just north of the Pennsylvania border in upstate New York, and we didn't have cell reception. And that was one of my favorite nights of the trip. Like, nobody cared. Nobody needed their phone, because if you're surrounded by the people that you love, you don't need anything else. And it was just such an amazing experience, and I'd love to do it again once I graduate. I still have like 2 years of school, but I would really love to do it again. I miss them all so much. I had never opened up to people that quickly. I mean, we knew so much about each other. We would just get into these deep conversations. We would laugh with each other, cry with each other. It was just, I've never experienced anything like it, and I still talk to them all the time. One of them just came and visited from Chicago, and I miss her so much, but it was so much fun. And then another friend's coming up from Florida in December, and then I'm going up to Seattle and Portland in January with 2 of my friends from the team, and we're going to visit someone that lives in Seattle. And then I also saw 2 of my teammates in Wichita. So it's been really hard being away from them. They're my second family, even though I've only known them for 6 months, but they're just the best people in the world, and I couldn't have asked for a better summer this past summer. So after the 4K, because I knew, I cried so much when it ended, because I was like, now I have to, it's like going back into reality. It almost didn't seem like reality because we all had such an amazing time. And so after the 4K, I got home and I was just kind of really lost. I got into graduate school here in Oklahoma City, so I moved from Norman to Oklahoma City. And I didn't have an apartment. I didn't know where I was living, and it was a little bit stressful. And I had nothing prepared for grad school. I got home, I think, on August 9th, and I started orientation like the 15th. So I just had like 6 days to find somewhere to live, get all my stuff for classes, get ready for class, figure out what I need to do. And for the first few weeks starting class, I was really kind of just down and depressed, and I was just kind of thrown back out there into reality, and I wasn't ready for that just yet. But so far school's going well. I got a job as a rowing coach, which I really enjoy. It's a lot of fun, and it gets me kind of back into that rowing community since I quit back in Boston. But it's much different being a coach than the actual rower, and I really enjoy that. It's just kind of a lot with work and school. And then my dad, I know in my last video I had talked about him having cancer, and he had one procedure done when I was gone over the summer, and another one done just a few weeks ago. So over the summer they removed a third of his lobe, and I was with my teammates, and they were all just the most supportive people. I couldn't have asked for a better team. And they were just so supportive, and I called my mom. Everything went great. This last surgery, not so much. They did the surgery, and they only had to take out the tumor this time, which wasn't that big of a deal, and he recovered really quickly. Well, a few days later, his lung collapsed, and he was in the hospital for about a week. And that was right in the middle when I had all my exams. There were regattas coming up for rowing. had exams and projects due, and it was just a very stressful time. And I sometimes when I have a lot going on, I panic, and I can't help it. It's part of my anxiety. It's part of just kind of who I am, and I just have to deal with it. And thankfully, I have Pinky, come here, bud, come here. I got a new dog. His name is Hank, and he's just the sweetest little pup out there. He helps me a lot, and I'm really sad because we're going to training for 10 days tomorrow, aren't we, buddy? But he helps me a lot, and so honestly, if it wasn't for Hank, I don't think I would have gotten through any of it. But he got sick this morning, so I think he's feeling better, but he looks a little loopy right now. But yeah, going through all of that with my dad was really, it was tough, and I'm still on medication for bipolar disorder, and that's really hard to handle at times too. There's more times than not I will get really anxious and just kind of freak out a lot of the time when I have a lot to do, or even if I don't have that much to do. There's some days I can't even get out of bed and I just don't feel like doing anything. And then there's some days when I'm just going and like not wanting to stop. But usually it's not in a productive way. It's not doing homework. It's like going for runs and just like cleaning and doing this and doing that and spending money and blah blah blah, and it just kind of sucks. But I mean, can you say hi? Can you say hi, buddy? Hi, bud. Hi. But yeah, so handling it has been tough. It's more manageable now than it was. But I mean, overall, I think I'm doing pretty well. Someone reached out to me recently that I didn't necessarily have a falling out with. It was just kind of, we had our differences, and they messaged me, and it really kind of caught me off guard, to be honest. I had thought about messaging them for a while after she went through something similar that I went through, but I never did, just because I got really anxious about the whole situation. But it really caught me off guard. I read it and I knew I wanted to respond, but I didn't know what to say. And it's going well. I think the conversation is definitely beneficial for the both of us. It's just so bizarre. We haven't spoken 2-3 years, and it's all my fault. It's my fault. It's her fault. There were some external factors and things that neither of us could really control, but I just think forgiveness is something that I've really tried to work on. It takes a lot of effort to hold hate in your heart, and sometimes it's just not worth it. And I think it's hard to completely forgive someone when they've done something that really is kind of traumatizing, and you still have anxiety over, and you still get depressed about from time to time. But I think everybody deserves a second chance, and I haven't given this person a second chance yet. So I'm hoping we'll be able to start fresh with our friendship. I know if we meet for the first when we meet up for the first time, it's definitely going to be it's going to be really hard for me. It'll probably be hard for them too. But I think it'll be beneficial for us to kind of talk over what we've been through together, and then just kind of catch up, because we used to be really good friends and we weren't, and now we're just going to try and start fresh. And I know it's going to be really hard when I see them for the first time, but I still think it'll be really cool. So that's kind of the short update of where I'm at in life. It's going good. School's a lot. I have a lot of projects, a lot of exams, but I am really excited because after this trip, I decided I want to work in cancer nutrition and be a dietitian for cancer, especially bone marrow transplant patients. Seeing what my dad went through and how he lost all that weight and everything just really made me realize that these cancer, like, it sucks so much. And this experience over this trip and these kids that we saw and the older people we saw and the people my age we saw, like, you just need help. And I want to help those people because they're so strong and so inspiring, and they deserve somebody to help them, especially with nutrition. Sometimes you can lose your taste, nothing like settles in your stomach. My dad with his radiation just like wouldn't eat because everything tasted bad to him, and so it's really hard for them to get proper nutrition. So I think that's really important, and I'm really excited to kind of start my career in that. I've still got quite a ways to go, but I'm really excited. I did have a recent experience. So the other day I told someone I was vegan, and if you've seen my past videos, you know that I've had body image issues for a while. And this this person, I told them I was vegan, and they said, "Oh, really? Like, I never would have pinned you as vegans. Vegans are usually skinnier than you." And I was kind of like, I didn't know what to say, and it really kind of hurt me, and it kind of put a damper on my day, unfortunately. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, but it's so much different. Like, it doesn't matter if you're vegan, if you're vegetarian, if you eat like crap. Everyone's bodies are different. Everyone's metabolism is different. Everyone has different body shapes, sizes, genetics. Some things you can't help, and I think that's like, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but like, you're beautiful, and don't let anyone tell you that you're not. I think I've always struggled with that, and it's okay to struggle with that. I think most people in society today struggle with that, but just don't let anybody ruin your day like that, like I did for me. If you ever want to talk about anything, whether it's mental health, body image, you're stuck in a sticky situation, I'll at least listen. I had people to listen to me, and I just want to return the favor and be the person that people can trust and talk to. A lot of my friends have come to me with their personal mental health issues, and I don't always know how to help, but I am always there for them. And just know that I'm there for all of you out there who may be struggling with mental health or body image. So thanks for watching, guys. This one was definitely shorter than my last one. If you have any questions or comments, or you just want someone to listen to you, let me know, and I definitely will. You're stronger than you think, and I think that's something super important. A lot of times I feel really weak when I'm going through a depressive or manic episode. If you have a dog, they help. I'm thinking of getting Hank trained to be a therapy dog, because he's a really sweet boy, and he's a really good dog, so a lot of times it gets really tough. But one of the quotes that really has stood out to me, actually I think I said that in my last video. One thing that really stood out to me this summer, when we were in Omaha, actually, we heard from a cancer patient, and she told us she was running a 5K after, I believe she had breast cancer, and after she was in remission, she decided to run a 5K. And she said it was so hard. She had trained for it, but it was still very hard. And then she just told herself, well, this isn't harder than chemo. And I always try to live by that, and I always try to think of that, because, I mean, she's right. Like, I complain about maybe having too much homework to do, or being really tired from work and school, but like, it's not harder than beating cancer. Like, chemotherapy does so much to your body, and it's not harder than that. So I always try to take everything with a grain of salt, and think about that quote whenever I'm really struggling. So I hope I helped you guys somewhat. I know sometimes I just ramble, and you probably just like don't care, but it helps me to kind of talk about it and get it out. So please reach out to me if you need any help with anything. You're not alone, and I love you all.
So please don't make me wait, 'cause I don't want